Hello and welcome to this week's Monday check-in. So this week I worked kind of a half day here on Monday. It's Memorial Day, as you can see from my fun little sticker there. So my boyfriend had the day off from work and we worked together for a while in a coffee shop and otherwise just kind of chilled today. So not quite planning here for a full week in the sense of 5 days of 350 minutes, but instead I'm trying to push and do 4 days straight of 350. If you remember or you saw the video for last week, I intended to do 350 minutes every day of the week, but I got through 2 days of that and then couldn't top much more than 300 minutes the rest of the week. So this week, I kind of taken it easier here on Monday. I'm gonna try to use that as a way to jumpstart, kind of justify the struggle, the climb into full days of 350 minutes. So with that in mind, I've kind of set up my weekly compass card. So let's just go ahead and dive on in. So as a student this week, I need to work on my PowerPoint for the Poland conference. I have some of this already prepped, but I wanted to make sure I get through at least 50% of that project so that I can continue to work on it as I actually go on the trip next week and all that kind of stuff. So just want to get through 50%. I like to tweak things right leading up to the presentation time, so I don't really try to prep it 100% in advance. So that's really going to be a lot of, like, the bulk of the work I'll get done this week. As a scholar, I have 5 readings from my list from my dissertation proposal. So I want to work through all of those. That's just 1 per day. As a girlfriend, my boyfriend's parents came into town last weekend, which is, I guess, this weekend's time. That's weird. They came in and that was a lot of stuff to do, so my task as a girlfriend this week is to just chill, don't worry about it. As a daughter, I just need to make sure my dad gets the car as needed for his medical appointments. As a philosophy citizen, I have a survey for MAP for the semester that's due by June 5th, so I'm going to take care of that. As a graduate orientation ambassador, I need to prep the training that I'm supposed to host at our first meeting for using Slack. And then as a teacher, I want to prep 3 classes this week. So for the 5 readings, those are broken down. I've got a piece by Zavi, a piece by Peter Lambike, I'm not quite sure how to say that. And then there's 3 books. I want to look at mysticism and language, ineffability and philosophy, and visions of religion. I'm not quite sure how to relate to those 3 books, but it's kind of a challenge to process an entire book here, but I want to get those off the list and bust it out as best I can by the end of the week. I want to make sure that I'm continuing to write as I read, so I want to free write, so you read the piece and then you do a free write, about the piece, basically, and how it relates to the ideas that are most relevant to my research. So I want to make sure I do that every day for my full work days, so that's 4 days this week. I'm considering turning one of my qualifying papers into a publication, so I need to send that to my advisor and get his feedback on it this week. I need to prep the 3 classes. Last week I had this broken down into the PowerPoint, the activity, and the 3 paragraphs. While there are those 3 components still to each class, I think now that I kind of have that rhythm, I don't need to make sure I'm doing each one. I've kind of figured out how to integrate all of it into the PowerPoint so that I remember to generate the material for each. There's another APA post about expanding the Canon, which means reading more than just Western philosophy in philosophy classes. I'm supposed to do a guest post about this. I want to try to generate that post this week. I want to, for the job market, I want to revise my teaching statement. I already have generated one and I've gotten feedback on it, but I haven't actually revised in light of that feedback. So I want to try to do that this week. This is for my research kind of in general. I have created a category in the notes I'm taking called citable notes, which is like I reduce the piece down to kind of a 1 sentence or 2 sentence summary. And I need to figure out how to sort my ref works by just the citable notes. So this is like a technical skill I have to figure out so that I can kind of review the materials I've generated and like, you know, keep fresh in my mind all of the recent things that I've been reading, because I've been reading quite a lot compared to past Louise. So we've got that 50% on the Poland PowerPoint. That's definitely gonna happen this week. I wanna print a summer master list. So I generated a master task list for the summer. I have kind of a temporary version of this, which I can show you on Post-it notes. This is May, June, July, and August, but I've broken these down more carefully and clearly in the typed version of this. So I would like to print that and keep it in my planner. So I want to do that while I'm on campus. I need to read the intro and values chapter in an introduction to Indian philosophy for the Ancient Indian Philosophy reading group that I participate in via Skype. We're just getting that group back up and running this week, so gotta read that. I need to do the map survey. I need to prep the training for Slack. And then I have a overdue library book from where I used to live. It's kind of complicated. I gotta sort that out this week. I don't want it to keep lingering. So that's pretty much it for this week. Now, one thing I don't have that I had last week, if you remember, I have my compass card still in here. You can see I had 50% of chapter 3 and I had this kind of broken down. I didn't like the way this was pushing me to write. It was kind of causing me to write on things sort of artificially. So this week I don't have any concrete writing goals, but I'm going to meet with my advisor this week. I expect to be getting some feedback on some of my ideas. I'm hoping to add those to the list specifically for writing. I'm trying to give myself a little bit more freedom with writing because I don't want to be writing stuff or feeling guilty about not doing something on the list when it just like wasn't appropriate given where my research was. So yeah, that's this week. I'm a little nervous about the writing element, but I'm going to keep writing every day. And I'm gonna keep chugging along here. We'll see how it goes with 4 weeks at 350 and I will report back on Friday. Thanks so much for watching.